again this morning. I just wanted to talk to you maybe about a few tools that you might like to try in your garden. Hand tools. There are a few that I am really in love with. And the first one would be this guy here. So I'll just put my shirt here so that you can kind of see it. This is one of the best tools that I have ever had. You get down in the earth quite far with it. The pointed end right here on it. If you have ground cover and you've got grass and things coming up through it, you can get in there with this tool and you can pop up the ground, and then you can get that grass out, and then you just take it back out, and then you just pat down your ground cover again, so that it doesn't disturb it that much. This I absolutely love. You can get this at Vessey's, and you can also get it at in Halifax. Gosh, I can't remember the name of the place up there. But in Vessey's, it's called a Easy Digger, and in the other place, it's called a Homey Hoe. And anyways, and the next one is this is a Hoya knife. This has, as you can see maybe on here, that it has marks on here. So it has your depth. So if you're trying to do bulbs or whatever, you can get this done. And with it, for your depth, you can get that right down in the ground, pop it up, put your bulb in, and you know that you've got it down the right depth for yourself. On one side, it is serrated, and on the other side, it's a flat blade. And this is really good to help out when you're going to cut up and divide some of your plants in your garden. Great tool. This one here is a root knife. Lee Valley, that's the place. Lee Valley Tools in Halifax. And it's called a Homey Hoe there, and it's called an Easy Digger at Vessey's to get this guy here. This is a root knife, and it also has a serrated edge on it. And this one here is also really, really good because it's to divide up your perennials with this guy here. So this one I use a lot because I'm always dividing my perennials. And the next one that I have is your trowel. And the one I like to use the most, because my garden is quite busy, it's got a lot of things in here, this narrower one helps me get into where I'm going without disturbing everybody else. And it has the ergonomic handle on it. So if you're going to buy any of these tools, my recommendation would be that you want to get an ergonomic handle. Because if you're working out there, you don't want to end up with sore wrists and get all bunged up so that you can't do too much out there. So the other two things that I wanted to show is pruners. This is a set of seculars or pruners, and this just has a straight cut on it. It has, the blade is on this side, and so when you're trimming things, what I like to do is I like to get in around with this on, say, a dead stem, and get it in there, and then you can chomp on it, because this lets you get, because this is smaller, it lets you get right in there. So that you can kind of hook onto whatever stem or branch it is that you're trying to cut, and then you just go down with it. The other set I have is, this is a ratchet pruner. So if you've got a bit of a bigger branch, you can press down on it and it'll lock in place. You let go, and then you can press down again. So it does it in increments, so that you can get through it without too much trouble and too much damage to the branch. This one here, for these kinds of tools, look for the ones that have screws on them. You can get, if they have the screws on them, you can take them apart, you can get them sharpened properly, and you can also clean them up really good. And this one here also has, I don't know if you can see that or not, but this one here also has some screws on it so that they can be taken apart, and you can get them cleaned up and you can get them sharpened. I'm lucky enough that I live in Pictou, and so we have Grohmann knives down on our main street, so that's where I take my tools to get them all sharpened up. So that's just a few tools that I have in my garden that I use, my hand tools, and hopefully this might help you out in maybe wanting to try one of those tools if you don't already have it in your own garden. So that's it for today. Thanks very much for joining me. Bye now.